Well, welcome back to the Crooks estate, the Crooks garden, in a beautiful June evening here after what seemed like a very long, cold, wet, depressing winter and best part of the spring. Just in the last couple of weeks, everything has shot into flower. It feels like we've gone from winter straight into summer, to be honest. That rose over there, that long standing rose, is looking wonderful. The Alstroemeria there, Indian summer, just coming into flower. And if you saw a video a couple of weeks back, maybe a month or so back, we were looking at pruning back our Escallonia and mulching it with our Blooming Amazing mulch. It's growing back beautifully with that lovely bright gold growth. However, none of that is what I wanted to talk to you about. It's not like me to go waffling on about the wrong thing, is it? What I wanted to talk to you about was collecting seeds from our daffodils and see if we can grow daffodils from seeds, particularly this variety, our Cyclamineus daffodil, which you will have known from previous videos took us a long time to try and find. I discovered that you're very unlikely to get it as a bulb, and you're more likely to get it as a plant or as a seed. And so I picked up some plants and they flowered beautifully this spring. They were in flower for, it seemed like, a good month or more, much longer than most daffodils. And we have some seeds. Can you see them there? Those little black dots in there from the dead flower heads. And here we go. If I just give them a little squeeze, those seed heads open up, and there we have got our seeds. So I'm going to go around and squeeze each of these dead seed heads. You can just see the trick is to have a look at the dead flower head, and you can just see a little black spot there, little hole with black spots inside. So that indicates to me that it's ready to just give a little gentle squeeze, and let's see what comes out. Here they come. Yeah, so I'm going to do that with all of them, and then we're going to have a go at sowing these seeds pretty much straight away. They say that rather than waiting, the best thing is to get these sown as quickly as possible so the little seeds don't dry up. We may not see much evidence of germination until, well, next late winter, early spring, I suppose, next February, something like that. But the first step is to get the seed harvested and sown as quickly as possible into some well-drained compost. This particular daffodil likes a slightly acidic soil, so I'll probably use some Ericaceous compost, maybe mix it with some ordinary compost so we get a slightly Ericaceous soil, and I'll show you how we do that shortly. Right then, I think it's time to get these seeds in. It's only kind of the next day, so we don't want these seeds drying out. So I found a pot that's got good drainage holes in the bottom there, if you can see. Yeah, lots of drainage holes, and I think that's a good idea if we're going to have some seed sat dormant in this pot for 8 months or something. We don't want them getting too wet or they'll rot off. So I'm just covering some of those drainage holes with some stones just to stop the compost washing out completely through those big holes. And I'm going to get some gravel, excuse me. So I'm just going to get some gravel now and put some of that over there. I think if I did the gravel without the big stones, the gravel would wash straight through the holes. Look at that, we've got some there already. So then I've got some Ericaceous Johninus compost here, which is quite sandy and gritty, which again will help with the drainage. It's got some organic matter. It's peat-free, of course. So it's got some organic matter mixed in there. So now we've got a layer of stones above all those holes, and a little layer of grit, and then we've got our kind of layer of well drained, slightly ericaceous soil. Now it's time for some seeds to go on top. As ever, trying to do this one-handed whilst holding a camera is not easy, so trying to avoid them all coming out at once. Come on boys, don't be shy. It's your chance to shine. Here we go. Yeah, so there we go, just scattering them as evenly as possible over the surface. They're all in there. There's a little cluster there, so I'll mix those up a little bit. There we are, and I'm just going to sprinkle maybe a centimetre of compost on top of there. I like this compost. As we've been transitioning from peat-based compost to peat-free, I'm finding I prefer composts that have got a bit of soil, some loam mixed in to them. There we go. So we've got about a centimetre of compost on top of the layer with the seeds on. In old language, that's about half an inch. And now I'm going to put these somewhere where they will be exposed to summer rain. I'm a little bit nervous about putting it amongst some of my big pots. You know, talking of big pots, here's my that lily pot that I dug up back in the winter. You may recall I did a video and when I dug the pot up that had been growing lilies for years. Started off with 6 bulbs. We ended up with about well over 50. I can't remember how many it was. There was loads and loads of bulbs. I replanted about a dozen of them, about 12 of them, and they've come up really well. And we've even got some flower bud here in well, middle of June. So let's go and find a home where we can put this pot of seed where it's not going to get blasted by a hose pipe, which would be the danger if I put it next to that pot there, but where it will get the kind of the summer showers and the autumn and the winter rain. And I've got just a spot in mind. There you go. So our clematis climbing up through our camellia here, using the camellia as a climbing frame for the clematis. I can't remember whether that's Ernest Markham. Who wants to take a guess at that variety of clematis? Let us know in the comment section, of course, below. And this is a new plant, just sidetracked slightly, as is my way. For us, these extremely tall alliums that we grew last autumn, planted the bulbs out, and they've shot up. They're over 6 foot high, 2 meters in new language. So excited to see those come into flower soon. But I'm just going to tuck this. There we are. I need to get a label in there as well, so I don't forget what seeds are in there. So they're just a little bit. They get a bit of dappled sunlight. They're going to get rain. They might get the odd shower of water if we're watering in this border, but they're unlikely to get kind of heavy watering. Heavy watering would not be a good idea because you end up washing the seeds out, so only water lightly. But I'm just thinking that I want them to be exposed to the kind of the weather conditions that would they be exposed to if they were seed that was dropped naturally from a bulb. They would just drop to the soil around the bulbs, and you know, would be take their luck with the British weather through the summer, autumn, and then hopefully, we'll keep you posted, of course, hopefully next February we should see some little seedlings emerging. So exciting times. First time I've ever done this. Never grown, never tried to grow daffodils from seed. Always been putting them in bulbs, but very happy to. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, mate, you enjoying that? You're doing a great job. Yeah, well done. Yes, so we're looking forward to seeing if we manage to get some of these Cyclamineus seeds to germinate. Any comments, any questions? We'd love to hear, especially if you've had some experience of growing daffodils from seed. We'd love to hear any tips you may have. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon. Bye.